The 4-year period between 2011 and 2014 were golden years for the world. It was no accident that this coincided perfectly with the presence of Aura. After all, the world was an online game managed by the ultimate AI. Even in CC Corp, this was known only to a limited number of people. From the moment it began, no one fully understood Aura, the omnipresent AI system that controlled the world. The average player would have no way at all to even learn of her existence. Aura had inherited the intelligence of a genius, Harold Hewick, and the beauty of a poet, Emma Wieland. She was the ultimate administrator of the world, and a gifted debugger. And yes, she could behave like a temperamental creator. As the lone deity in the world, Aura would sometimes act impulsively like a fickle goddess. For example, it was Aura's idea, not CC Corporation, to create a replica of the Kite character and use it in a promotional giveaway campaign. She even put the hero of the bracelet in a demo version and returned him to gameplay. As to when Aura disappeared, that can only be determined by examining conditions in the world. Our best estimate is in late 2014. It was 7 years after the day of Pluto's kiss that abnormalities first began to be clearly detected in the world. Time lags and frequent crash servers started to seriously interfere with the game. These problems didn't just cause trouble for the world, they affected the entire network. Load processing increased, and real-world trouble quickly magnified. The Network Market Research Organization, NAB, along with other institutions, investigated the cause. But although they suspected it was due to a new type of virus, one similar to the kind that had caused the original network crisis, they were unable to find evidence of sabotage. That was no surprise. The real reason was simply that Aura had vanished. This alone caused the network to revert to its original specs. It took until early 2015 before executives at CC Corp would come to that realization. And that's how it began. The network, albeit quietly, began to fall into decay, and the world faced its own dark age. As it became less and less reliable, the world soon lost its popular appeal. Aura, the guardian ubiquitous. Only a handful of people understood the relationship between the loss of Aura and the network chaos. The top executives at CC Corp were forced to make a decision. Their plan was to resurrect Aura and bring her back to the network again. But the father of Aura, Harold Hewick, was dead. Therefore, the RA plan, the plan for bringing her back, required a different organization. This was how Project G.U. was established. The loss of the ultimate AI, Aura, was the second major network crisis. In other words, the birth of Aura paved the way for the world's second paradigm shift. The world's golden age lasted from 2011 until 2014. When Aura's disappearance was confirmed, the world's golden age had truly become a dark age. A variety of problems, such as faulty servers, began to spread everywhere, not just the world, but over the entire internet. However, once CC executives learned that the cause of these problems was due to the loss of Aura, they began to formulate a plan to counteract against the silent danger. They would forcibly restore Aura back to her original state They intended to seize control of the next network society by creating and managing this ultimate AI themselves. It was a return to the plan both CC Corp and Ultimate Corp had hatched during the first network crisis. That was back in 2005, when they were still using the Ultimate operating system. Ultimate had managed the network's hegemony. This is how Project G.U. officially began. It was all thanks to CC Corp's sponsorship. The budget was limitless. A special team was put together. First-class engineers, AI programmers, and other technical experts. I myself was also a major part of this project. I was brought on to represent CC Corporation and ensure their goals were met. The project's overall objective was to restore Aura, and thus G.U.'s RA plan began. The RA plan. We were to salvage the 8 broken pieces of the Morgana Factor, which had sunk into a sea of data after being destroyed by Kite's bracelet during the 2010 Morgana incident. It was thought that by sealing each piece of Morgana Factor separately into character data, players could then take control of them, one at a time. There were precedents for this kind of strategy. The mind of a player known as Sora had attached itself to Skaith. And there was Maha, whose mind was thought to have adhered itself to the wandering cat-like AI, Mia. Of the people involved in Project G.U., there was one man on the team who was absolutely invaluable. Jotaro Amagi, an elite mind who came to CC Corp at age 19 after working intelligence for the Ministry of Economy. For his age, he was truly a genius. Although Mr. Amagi and I were far from what you would consider friends, our complementary knowledge and combined abilities helped greatly to advance the project forward. We were the 2 essential wheels that kept G.U. rolling. Our age difference didn't matter, yet we would frequently clash in fevered arguments. For some reason, a strange mixture of feelings, respect, envy, and scorn, had begun to grow in my heart. Even so, Amagi and myself scoured the network, finally managing to find a single piece of the Morgana Factor. It was Magus, the factor for propagation. After a great deal of trial and error, the team finally succeeded in attaching the Morgana Factor to a character in the world. This completed prototype became known as an Epitaph user, so named for Morgana's 8 phases of the Epitaph. The one we completed first was called the Epitaph User of Propagation. However, no one involved in the project, not even myself or Amagi, could use one of these characters. When someone would try to log into the world with one of these characters, an unbearable vertigo, nausea, and headache would paralyze him. The Morgana Factor, just as it had in the cases of Skaith and Sora, showed a high affinity for human minds. But perhaps that was only towards the chosen ones. Amagi had a theory that the Morgana Factor could choose the player it would attach to, and though conditions were unclear, the Morgana Factor would approve only a certain type of human. If that were indeed the case, locating those 8 chosen ones became an important issue for Project G.U. At the advice of Amagi, a search team was created within the Security Admin Department. They would filter players in the world to find the chosen ones. Unfortunately, we learned that Sora's real-life player had already canceled his account with the world.
That's a unique bracelet. Can I take a look?
Mia! Your memories, they're...
Amagi and I continued our search for the other 7 pieces of the Morgana factor.
Yes.
Skaith, Innis,
Do you mean
Fidhel,
you can't see this nice
Gore,
bracelet?
Maha,
Even
Tarvos,
if
and
you
Korbenik.
know it's there.
Eventually, we discovered that the Maha piece had once again attached itself to the cat character Mia. We were able to extract it by destroying the cat character. We continued to produce epitaph users one at a time, and eventually we had completed all 8 of them. All we had to do next was allow the Chosen Ones to control these epitaph users, then have them use the power of Morgana's 8 phases to activate the program Amagi had created. This RA program would restore Aura, gateway to Utopia. We at Project G.U had come so close. We had almost arrived at our utopia.